Imagine this. Someone working for you asks for a salary of more than $50 million a year. You spend over $10 million on an engine that might last only a few hours before breaking down. In every race, you could lose your racing car worth several million dollars. And no, this isn't a wild casino bet going all in on black. The crazy part? You still end up making a profit. Because this is Formula One. The Formula One World Championship was first officially held in the 1950 season. That first year, the championship included 6 Grand Prix races across Europe, plus one in the United States at Indianapolis. Back then, wealthy aristocrats competed in homemade racing cars that were far more dangerous than the machines we see today. They weren't chasing money, they were chasing speed, adrenaline, and the pure thrill of the moment. In fact, some drivers even paid just for the chance to sit behind the wheel. Incredible if you compare that to today, where Formula One drivers earn salaries hundreds of times greater than those of the average working person. The financial side of the sport truly began to develop about 30 years later, in the late 1970s, when Bernie Ecclestone transformed Formula One into a money-making machine. Bernie understood one thing. Formula One wasn't just racing. It was entertainment. And as we all know, entertainment always comes at a price. In 1972, Ecclestone bought the Brabham team from Ron Tauranac for £25,000. Under his leadership, the team saw its golden age, with Nelson Piquet winning 2 drivers' titles in 1981 and 1983. Later, Bernie became the head of the Formula One Constructors Association. He centralized all television rights and sold them as a single package. To ensure no one challenged his authority, he created a revenue-sharing system where everyone got their slice of the pie. This was the birth of Formula One as a true business model. Ecclestone turned a group of speed enthusiasts into a structured empire. Where does all this money come from? First, media rights, making up 33%. Broadcasters worldwide pay massive fees to air the races. ESPN, for example, pays $90 million per year. And that's without counting Formula One's own streaming service, F1 TV. Second, race hosting fees, around 29%. Organizers pay anywhere from $20 to $60 million just to host a Grand Prix. Saudi Arabia, for instance, spends $55 million per race. Third, sponsorships. Brands like Rolex, Heineken, and DHL spend millions to have their logos appear on TV. In 2025, luxury giant LVMH signed a 10-year, $1 billion deal. That's $100 million a year. And of course, VIP tickets and merchandise, which bring in another 19%. But Formula One's commercial foundation actually began with tobacco sponsorships. In 1968, Team Lotus showed up at Monaco in a red and gold car branded by Imperial Tobacco. That deal, worth €85,000 at the time, about $1.4 million today, turned cars into moving billboards. By the 1980s, tobacco companies dominated Formula One sponsorship, with contracts reaching $100 million a year. The connection was obvious. Speed, risk, and excitement fit perfectly with cigarette marketing. But in the 2000s, tobacco advertising bans hit hard. By 2007, direct cigarette sponsorship disappeared from most races. Teams lost up to 50% of their funding. Still, some brands found loopholes, like Ferrari's infamous barcode design, which subtly hinted at Marlboro. Today, tobacco has been replaced by tech giants, crypto exchanges, and luxury brands. But those early sponsorships set the stage for the massive deals Formula One still relies on. Why do countries pay millions to host a race? The answer is simple. Tourism. Hotels, restaurants, and local businesses thrive as tens of thousands of fans flood in, injecting millions into the local economy. Formula One is not just a sport. It's a race of innovation. Teams spend millions on every tiny detail just to gain a few hundredths of a second. In 2017, American company Liberty Media bought Formula One for $4.4 billion, or $8 billion including debt. Bernie Ecclestone stepped down, replaced by Chase Carey, a U.S. media executive. Carey's mission? Transform Formula One from an elite European sport into a global entertainment powerhouse. Under Liberty, Formula One embraced social media, lifted bans on teams posting online, and launched the Netflix series Drive to Survive in 2019. That series boosted F1's popularity worldwide, especially in the US, where new fans are young, wealthy, and perfect targets for big sponsors. So, who makes the money? Top drivers like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton earn around $50 million annually, plus bonuses and personal sponsorships. But they also pay hefty fees to race. The entry fee alone is $11,000, plus $2,230 for every championship point earned the previous season. Verstappen, for example, paid over $1 million just to compete in 2023. The biggest winners, though, are Formula One's commercial rights holders. Liberty Media's stock rose more than 60% after buying F1, and in 2024, Formula One Group made nearly $500 million in operating profit. Looking ahead, the future of F1 is about expansion in the US, new manufacturers like Audi and possibly Cadillac, and greener technology with hybrid engines and sustainable fuels starting in 2026. But challenges remain. One team dominating the sport, Red Bull today, Mercedes before, makes races predictable. Longtime fans worry about F1 leaning too much toward entertainment over sport, and entering the sport is still so expensive that new teams struggle to break in. In just 75 years, Formula One has gone from dangerous passion to billion-dollar empire. And as long as people want the show, there will always be those willing to create it. So, what do you think about Formula One? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.